clear just before this was started. The guard play was terrific by the Nets. The Bird was terrific. Russell not going late. That's what you're going to hear about for the
Yo.
next game. They got to find a way to look at these guards. This has been all year.
What's up, Brian? How are you?
They were calling for help, dudes. They needed it.
Texting somebody. All right, this one less than 2 minutes going forward. Kawhi Leonard with a game tie right there. 10 seconds left. Game tie. DJ Augustine.
Doing pretty well. What are you up to? You watching this game?
The seasoned veteran.
Another upset there. Magic.
7 players in double figures. Orlando's been playing great since the start of February. They're one of the better teams in the league. It's not a fluke.
DeMar DeRozan got 11 in the first half.
What's up, Jonathan? How are you?
The big range.
This halftime is presented by Toyota. Let's go places.
Not here, but usual. What if the Spurs comes out?
What's up? Did you guys watch Warriors Clippers? I'm thinking the Spurs are going to win. Yeah, so I only really got to see the second quarter, but the Nuggets look like the end-of-year Nuggets where they struggled, not the one-seed Nuggets that we grew accustomed to. Steph was just special tonight, man. I really think he's a top 2 player in the league, LeBron being 1, Steph being 2, over the course of time. This year, Harden and Giannis were the top players, but Steph is special. He changed the game of basketball, which is crazy. So when I went live, since you guys, the Bad Blood was hilarious. So when I went live, since you guys subscribed, because I'm kind of new to YouTube, does it give you an alert, or how did you know that I was live already? Sure, we can preview tomorrow's game. So Celtics Pacers, I think we come out slow. Boston, I just don't see the motivation at home, really. I think we'll figure it out, though. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. So I think we'll probably struggle early, close late. I think we win the series in 5 games. I think but every game will be close, and it'll be a bunch of tough games. For Boston, I think Kyrie will have to take over a few games. I think that we're going to need to see Hayward play well, Tatum play well, Horford with his leadership. The Pacers, they're gritty, man. They really are a tough squad. And then, so let's check the schedule for tomorrow. So we have Celtics. I think the Celtics should take care of business. OKC Portland, that's going to be a really fun game number 2, 3:30 Eastern. I think in that game, so I have the Thunder winning that series. I think too much talent. The Nurkic injury is just absolutely brutal. What's up, Robert? Thank you for joining into the stream. Drop a sub if you're new, so you can just hop on new live streams going forward. But so I actually think Portland will get game 1 at home. I think they're going to come out with a point to prove. I think the one advantage there that OKC really has is when Cantor's in for Nurkic, the Thunder really can expose him in the pick and roll. Like there's actually an interesting clip where during the regular season when Cantor's playing, and remember Cantor played for the Thunder, so Billy Donovan is familiar with his defensive abilities, and they ran pick and roll against Cantor to death because he cannot guard the pick and roll, especially with Russ in the pick and roll with Adams. And there's actually a funny clip where Billy Donovan goes, he can't play Cantor, meaning like they literally cannot put him in the game on defense or he'll get exposed until they have to take him out. and they'll have to go to someone like Zach Collins without Nurkic. That's just a massive difference. So, what's up, Justin? Thank you for joining in. I appreciate it. So I think Portland will take care of the job in game one, potentially. But over the course of the series, I just think it's going to be tough for them to keep up with that star power. But then you have the great equalizer. You have Dame time. Westbrook could go cold. Paul George is hobbled with an injury. I think that series goes 6 or 7. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah, Curry is unreal. He was crushing it. So then tomorrow's schedule is actually a little weird. I don't get why they do this, especially on a Sunday, because like people want to go to sleep. But so there's a game at 3:30 Eastern, then it goes all the way to 7, which is Milwaukee, Detroit. Blake's hobbled. Drummond, maybe he's dominant. He could go 20 and 20 inside, and the Bucks could still blow them out. They're too good top to bottom. No one on that team can really guard Giannis. I really think that's probably a sweep waiting to happen. I don't even see Detroit grabbing one at home. Maybe game 4 if Milwaukee's motivation is low, but I don't really know. What's up, Jaden? Hey, Brady. Thanks for joining in, guys. How far do I think the Celtics will go? So, obviously, rooting for the Celtics this year. I think we're kind of in trouble because the Bucks are a nightmare matchup for us. We can't guard Giannis. They are a very complete team while we're a very selfish team right now. So I think we beat the Pacers in 5 or 6 games, maybe even 7. And then the Bucks probably get us in 6. I don't know. It's always tough because game 6 is at home. So maybe it goes to 7. They almost beat us last year. It went to 7. We didn't have Kyrie or Gordon, but they also weren't the same team. And then the nightcap is Houston versus Utah. So as you guys know, I have Houston winning that series, and I also have Houston being dangerous in the next round against most likely the Warriors. I think that Utah's a really good team. I just think they're a piece short to keep up with the Rockets team that I'm really high on. So let's get to some questions specifically about the game, not like MVP, Rookie of the Year. We kind of talk about that a lot. What's up, Toxic? Thank you for joining in. Thank you guys for all being here. I assume, are you guys all watching the Nuggets Spurs game? Let me know your prediction for the second half. Who wins the game? The score is Spurs 59 and Nuggets 51. Nuggets struggled in the first half. They only hit 2 or 3 3-pointers. They haven't really had their outside stroke since about mid-February, so that's been a cause for concern for them. They're at home. They're the better team. They should be fine. They should come back and win this game, but I don't know. Popovich is he just is a really good coach. The Nuggets are young, inexperienced. I know DeRozan isn't like the primetime performer in the playoffs, but you have Aldridge, you have Patty Mills, who's a consistent guy. What's up, Jack? Thanks for joining in. Thank you all for being here. Let me know if you're here for the earlier stream or if this is your first one of today. Hey, Mexican Warrior. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate it. Thank you all for subscribing. Really excited to kind of launch my YouTube channel and get to interact with you guys live. So Brady asks, how about the Blue Jackets up 2-0 against Lightning? So Lightning, best team in the league by a large margin this year, but they're now down 2-0, headed back to Columbus. I think they're in serious trouble. So last year, Columbus actually took a 2-0 lead in Washington over the Caps before the Caps won 4 in a row and then inevitably went on to win the Stanley Cup. I think this is a little different. I think the Lightning are really, really in trouble. So Ahmed asks, if LaMarcus Aldridge is not there, Spurs would get swept. I don't know. I think they would probably win a game, but I mean, they're up 8 tonight, and if we just take a look at the box score, Let's navigate over here. Aldridge has 3 fouls. He's 2 for 7, 3 rebounds, 4 points in 13 minutes, and they're up 8. So I don't really think they get swept without Aldridge, but obviously if they have any chance of competing in the series, they really need him to come through. How about them Caps? Yeah, Caps, big, almost blown lead. Took care of business at home, though, 2-0. I think people are sleeping on the Caps. I mean, you have a team who won the division 4 straight years. They have all their stars back. They're coming off finally a season where they won in the playoffs, and they're kind of under the radar. Like, the Lightning are now potentially being eliminated. You have an Islanders team who are knocking out the Caps' nemesis in the Penguins. They're up. The Islanders are up 2-0. If they get a game in Pittsburgh, they probably won that series in 5. So, I mean, the Caps are really being slept on. And then in the West, Calgary's a good team, but it is all wide open in the West. Like, I could see the Avalanche potentially upsetting them. I could see the Stars. They took Nashville to a second game in OT tonight. So I think the NHL playoffs are really fun. Really dirty hit in the Toronto game tonight. That was super uncalled for. Yeah, Jack. So Jack Hicks in the chat asks 76ers issues. Yeah, 76ers have a lot of issues right now. In the playoffs, Ben Simmons gets exposed. Embiid is a little hobbled, and the Nets are okay with him shooting threes. You have really only one guy who – well, TJ McConnell will come out and compete every night, but you had only really one starter who was working his butt off tonight, and Jimmy Butler, and he almost brought them back for a little bit, but he ran out of juice. He didn't have enough energy. Hey, D. Shulk. Hi. Do you think the Panthers are good? I'm going to assume you're talking about the Carolina Panthers. I mean, Carolina Panthers are decent, but if Cam's hurt and can continue not to be able to throw simple passes, they're not going very far. Who will win MVP? So I actually have Giannis as my MVP. And then Landon's asking who will win it. I think Giannis is 100% winning the award. Like, no doubt in my mind. Of who deserves it, I think my pick is still Giannis. I totally get the argument for Harden, though. I think it's probably like 60-40, Giannis 60, Harden 40. But I really think Giannis is going to bring home the award. Aldridge is struggling tonight. What do I think about JJ Redick? Redick should be huge for this team, right? So you have Ben Simmons, who's going to drive and create and kick to Redick. Then you have Embiid, who should be able to pass out of double teams in the post. And then Redick should be the perfect complement to spacing Jimmy and Tobias. But in the playoffs, for whatever reason, he has not shot the ball well. I think career from three is about 42%, and in the playoffs, he's down all the way to 30%, and that's just detrimental, especially because he's a really bad defender, which is why Dinwiddie, D'Lo, they were all getting to the rim with ease today. Best player matchup in the NBA playoffs, Granger Rowan asks. I think that's a really good question. I would say I'm really excited for Russ versus Lillard. That whole series, that should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited if the Rockets advance past the Jazz and get the Warriors. I'm excited to see who the Warriors are going to have guard Harden, because he's just on a different level scoring this year, drawing fouls, blowing by people, lulling them to sleep. So that's going to be really cool if maybe Clay steps up for a little, Durant steps up to the table a little. Other matchups, I'm trying to go through my head. Yeah, I would say Russ Lillard is probably the one I'm most excited for. What would I do if the Bucks lost to Detroit? Yeah, I just think it's a nightmare matchup for Detroit. In this NBA, you're not going to upset teams when you're banging down low, and especially when the Bucks can counter that with Lopez, who's becoming a super, super good defender. What do I think about the XFL? I was actually talking to a buddy about that tonight. So I'll answer that in 1 second. Guys, thank you all for being here. We're live streaming, just watching Spurs Nuggets. Spurs are up 8 with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Nuggets are struggling. Jokic kicks for 3, bang. So the XFL. So if you guys have been following the story with the AAF, so the AAF kind of folded because they ran out of money and they kind of launched like haphazardly. They didn't build it up a lot, and it was kind of like not expected. So it folded because people just didn't have time to really fall in love with the league or get excited for it. But the one takeaway is the NFL has signed over 30 players from the AAF. So clearly the league is working. There's talent in the league. It can serve as a development to the NFL, which is what they need because players are always in and out of that league. So why not have them playing, getting better in the offseason? But what I was saying tonight to my buddy, because he thinks the XFL will work, well, I'm kind of doubting it. So if you're old enough to remember, the XFL actually failed about, 10, 15 years ago because they're really aiming for a different target audience, which is just an extreme football league. So there were like no fair catches, there were mics on the field, like potentially good ideas, but what people really care about is the quality of talent on the field. So if the play of football isn't good, like no one's going to watch, no matter how pretty the cheerleaders are, no matter how how violent the game is. Like there was a game in the AF, it was like 8-3. No one's watching that game. It doesn't matter if there's a better review system. There has to be talent on the field. Ryan says it could be like a D League of the NFL. Absolutely. But that's my point as to why I think the XFL will fail is because they is because they're going to aim not to be the D League. They want to be their own league. They actually want to take over the NFL. So this is the situation. People are mad at the NFL for a whole host of different reasons. There's no defense left in the league. It's not violent anymore. There's a ton of penalties. The Kaepernick thing. So the XFL wants to be that complete opposite and hopes they can pull people away. But while that's great in theory, like I said, it's all about talent. Go Stallions. Yeah, our Stallions love was very short-lived for the real sports fan who became Stallions fans. How do I feel about Wentz next season started with no great backup? I mean, you can't continue to pay Foles millions of dollars to be a backup, even if Wentz is getting hurt. This is kind of Wentz's year to prove if he's the go-to guy, if he's a starter. Do you think Tyronn Lue will handle the pressure to bring the Lakers back to the NBA playoffs? It's not really about Lue. Lue's not a good enough coach where he's going to swing 5, 10, 15 wins. Really, it's just about the talent they bring in between free agency and potential trades. Do I think the Pats will make the Super Bowl next season without Gronk? My pick for next season is actually the Chiefs. I think a shored-up defense. Mahomes another year in the league. They were an overtime game away from getting there. So I'm definitely going with the Chiefs next year. What's up, Gabriel? Thanks for joining. LeBron should not coach. I don't think you guys understand how much time and preparation and energy it takes to game plan, to manage players on the team. And LeBron himself, he needs to study film, who he's matching up with, how he's going to guard him, what their weaknesses are. The last time there was a player coach was Bill Russell, and that was, 50 years ago. So we're watching Spurs, Nuggets. That's a foul. Nuggets cut the lead to 3 with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Defense. I don't know if you guys were with me earlier, but we were live streaming for that Nuggets-Raptors game, and I shut it off end of the fourth quarter because I needed to focus for work. And of course, the end of that game was insanity. That would have been so much fun if we were still on the stream. Jokic? Yeah, it's a foul. The reffing today has been very suspect, especially in that Orlando game. What do I think about the NCAA tournament? So, hey, Jacob. So, Jacob said, what's up, dude? You still haven't seen my questions on Snap, LOL. So, here's the deal with Snap. I'm up to about 500,000 followers, 300,000 plus views, which means my app is constantly crashing from all the questions you guys send me. So, if you really want to chat, which I'm always down for, I love to interact with you guys, send me a DM on Instagram, jsettleman23. I respond to every single message there. I've seen every single one. So, like I said, if you want to talk, hit me on Insta. I try to respond on Snap, but I send 2 messages and the app crashes. And Snap, they're not very good at that stuff. So the NCAA tournament was absolutely incredible. Early on, there weren't a ton of upsets, but what people don't realize, because they're so used to March Madness, is that when there aren't upsets, we get a higher quality of basketball in the Sweet 16 and on. So the games were amazing. I mean, the Elite Eight games, the Final Four, the championship, they were all down to the wire games. They were super, super. So, guys, if you're here, we're going to be going live a ton. I'm going to be doing a video podcast on my YouTube channel. Yeah, what's up, Tyler? How are you? And hopefully interviewing some cool athletes. So if you're interested in all that type of stuff, make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you're aware of all that stuff that we have going on. What's up, Ryan? Ryan. Hey, Cat Von Trap, YouTube. I'm doing great, man. Hey, Braden, how are you? Best sports city as in the most successful city. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's Boston. You got the Red Sox coming off a World Series. You have the Patriots coming off a Super Bowl. You have the Celtics, who were supposed to be much better this year, but 4 seed, home court advantage in the first round. Bruins are same thing, home court or home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs. So, and they've been for the past. I mean, they're championship city. I think the better question is, who's the worst sports city in America right now? And I'm curious what you guys think. So drop who you think is the worst sports city in the comments, and I'm going to read them and kind of talk about each city and how I feel like they are. So Nick says Detroit. So you have the Lions, who are stuck on. I think Derek White just absolutely posterized someone. Let's check it out. Oh, on Millsap's head. That'll be going on the story in a second. Woo! And 1. Oh, my God. So Detroit has the Lions, who are stuck in mediocrity with Stafford. The Tigers have been really bad lately. They made a couple playoff runs. The Pistons finally made the playoffs after a while, but, yeah, they've been bad. And the Red Wings were great for a while. So 10 years ago, Detroit's amazing. Now, though, they're not so hot. New York. I was thinking about New York the other day, obviously, because I'm living here. So you have teams like the Jets, who have stunk lately, the Giants, who are going through a rough patch. The Mets actually went to a World Series somewhat recently, but they're always up and down. The Knicks are terrible. The Nets, but now you have like the Nets, who are on the up and coming. The Yankees, who are a World Series favorite. The Mets are playing super baseball right now. The Knicks potentially bring in a bunch of guys in the offseason, and they're back to being relevant. Islanders are in the playoffs, had a home playoff game 1 for the first time in like 20 plus years. So I wouldn't say New York. Someone said Baltimore. That's a bit ridiculous, if I don't mind saying so myself. Tennessee. So Titans, they went to the playoffs the year before, but they never really – I mean, they won a game, but Mariota's not too great. Who else is in Tennessee? The Predators – we're just in the Stanley Cup. So I definitely would not say Tennessee. Chicago. So the Bears had a really good season this year. The Cubs just won a World Series recently, although they are struggling. The White Sox, though, have been really bad. The Bulls have been pretty bad lately. But if your city wins a championship in the past 3 to 5 years, I don't really consider your city that bad. Miami is definitely in the running for worst sports city. Since LeBron left, they've gone to the playoffs a few times, haven't really won many series. So you have a Heat team that's trending downwards. Marlins have been trending downwards for years. They traded the Marlins outfield was Ozuna, who's solid for the Cardinals, Yelich, who's an MVP and looking like potentially a repeat MVP, and Stanton, who's a 50-plus home run guy. So Marlins just an absolute atrocity. So Marlins trash. Dolphins have made the playoffs once in like 15 years, haven't won the division, and haven't won a playoff game in most of your lifetimes. And the Panthers also not very good. So I think Miami actually is the worst sports city in America right now. Buffalo, it's tough with Buffalo because they only really have 2 teams, which is the Bills, who went to the playoffs last year, and the Sabres, who they have not been good lately. Do I think Philly would do well without Foles? I think they should be okay. I mean, Wentz is their guy. They've always wanted Wentz to be their guy, so we'll see. Atlanta, let's see, Atlanta. The Hawks are bad, but Trae Young's like making them fun. The Braves have a lot of young talent who they're not off to a great start, but should be decent. Falcons were just in a Super Bowl and were pretty good the past couple years. Struggled this past year. Today, is it the Thrashers? I don't know. Where do I get my wallpapers for Wallpaper Wednesday? I get them from all over, Instagram, Twitter, Snap, just wherever I can find them. I'm trying to bring you guys the heat. Iowa doesn't really have like a whole thing. Green Bay, Milwaukee, and championships. I mean, you have Aaron Rodgers, so you just can't be the worst sports city. It's kind of the rule. Hey, Braden, thank you. The snaps are all for the fam. So thank you guys for following. What do I think about Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins is not a franchise quarterback. He's shown year in and year out he's just not a winner. He puts up stats, a lot of garbage time stats, but he's not someone who's going to win you a Super Bowl. They had a very similar team, went to the NFC Championship, added Cousins, who was supposed to be better than Keenum, and Cousins just tanked them. He couldn't get the job done to even get them into the playoffs. So, Tyler, next time you come to Maryland, hit me up. So if you're local, I can meet you. Yeah, I will actually be home next weekend for the holidays. So shoot me a message on Instagram DM, and we can kind of see if we're close by. Knicks getting anyone? Well, the Knicks are automatically drafting someone in the top 3 based off their worst record. Hopefully they get the number 1 pick and they get Zion. I'm hearing, and a lot of people are reporting, that KD is very, very much likely headed to the Knicks. So if they get him, I see, and then a top pick, either Morant or Zion, I see absolutely no reason as to why they don't get another superstar point guard, aka Kyrie, if he really is leaving Boston, or Kemba. Kemba's a New York guy. He loves MSG, won the Big East tournament there. So Kyle Bradley says, I'd take Barrett over Zion. Barrett is – so here's the thing. No one's actually going to. It's not a horrible take because I actually see Barrett as like that fluid scorer in the pro game. He has that maturity to his game. But Zion's all-star potential is just through the roof. Like the same thing with LeBron. LeBron couldn't really shoot the 3 ball coming out of high school. LeBron was a good passer, but not the passer that he is now. Like these kids are 18, 19 years old. Do you realize how young like that is in their growth and potential? So just based off pure athleticism plus his ability on the court. Like it's not like he's just an athlete. He's an absolute stud. He dominated every game in the tournament. So I just you go Zion. Ja is 100% going over Barrett. Yeah, I think Morant probably does go over RJ because he's a better facilitator. Although Barrett he can make plays, he can pass very well. Where in Maryland? I'm in Owens Mills, Ryan, if you know where that is. Bol is going to be Rookie of the Year. Good night, Capon. Thank you for joining in. Subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. I appreciate you all. Bol is going to be Rookie of the Year. So Oregon was a weird team this year. They were ranked with Bol. He goes down with an injury. They absolutely fall apart. They win the conference tournament, and then they make it Sweet 16. I think if they had Bol, could they have beaten UVA? I don't know, but that would have been a really fun matchup to see with him playing. Let's assume Katie and Zion end up going to the Knicks. Where do they stand compared to the rest of the East? So let's say no Kyrie but Kemba. So you have Kemba with Dennis Smith Jr. backing him up. You have, or maybe starting alongside him, you have KD, you have Zion, you have DeAndre probably comes back on a 1 or 2 year deal for a little more money because you have Zion on that rookie deal. You have Mitchell Robinson, who's unbelievable shot blocker. Those two are like the perfect centers for a superpower team. Like they're just going to dunk the ball, play good defense, protect the paint, not really stretch the floor like you'd like to see in today's game, but like a perfect complement. So if that's their five, let's say it's Kemba, DSJ, KD, Zion, DeAndre, Mitchell, like tree off the bench. I think they're a top 4 seed for sure. In my opinion, I think the Sixers kind of pull apart their pieces this summer. Like I don't think Tobias signs there. I don't think Jimmy realistically signs there. So with that being said, I think they're a top 4 seed. I think the Bucks are sticking together. But now if Kyrie comes from Boston to the Knicks, they probably jump to a top 3 seed. They can pass Boston, pass the Sixers. Depending on what Kawhi does, they could even get to 2. The Bucks should be 1 next year, but I think the Knicks play a home playoff game for game 1. Zach Does Fun says, how'd you get so popular on Snapchat? So if you guys are new to following me, or even if you don't really know the fundamentals behind it, I'm posting every 30 minutes pretty much while I'm awake, posting videos that are being shared. So if I send a video out and you guys send it to your friends, that's a new follower. And it's kind of a snowball effect. So whereas I gained a bunch and now you guys are spreading the wealth, and that's kind of how we ended up there. How do I get my videos for Snap? I pull them off Instagram and Twitter. Denver wants to come back in this game, but they can't get over that metaphorical hump. Do I know where Frederick is? Yes, I do. I gotta post this Derek White highlight on Snap for everyone. Oh! The Nuggets are getting the crowd into it. I like this. The crowd's been pretty quiet tonight, so they really need that. 1 second, guys. Going to try and post Derek White clip. What caption do you guys think I'm going with? If you followed me for long enough, you should be able to know. Westminster. All right, cool. Yeah, so maybe we can meet up. Good night, brother. Make sure you sub before you check out. Have a good night. Do I pay attention? Of course I pay attention to the NHL. We were just talking NHL playoffs probably before you hopped in the stream. Defense. Yeah. Hey, Brooks. Yeah, I've talked to a bunch of you guys on Snap before. I love doing that. Yeah, so Nuggets cut the lead to 4 with 8 seconds left in the third quarter. DeRozan up the left wing into into his post fadeaway, Kobe style. So the Nuggets trail by 4 entering the fourth. A really exciting game in front of us. UK football record this upcoming year, I have no clue. I don't follow them enough to really make an accurate prediction. What NFL team do I think is the best future? NFL is really tough to predict long-term future. It's really based on quarterback and defense. So I'll say the Chiefs because they have Mahomes. My finals prediction realistically is going to be Warriors over Bucks in 5 or 7 games. But I sneakily think that the Rockets could put up a fight and take down the Warriors. That's just my opinion. If Mo Bamba was playing, could the Magic win 2 rounds? If Mo Bamba was playing, the Magic would lose 4 in a row. There were recently released stats that when Bamba plays, the Magic are one of, if not the worst team in the entire league, which is actually just a crazy stat. Sorry, guys.
Fluffy King's Hawaiian buns pair well with almost everything RB serves. To prove it, we make the
LSU football record prediction 10-3 with a bowl game that they, depending on how they play, they win or lose. DJ Augustine went insane. Yeah, he crushed Lowry today, which is becoming a real serious problem for the Raptors. Hey, Jack, how you doing? Hey, AK Daddy Cuerito. Florida will win the SEC this year. Who's their quarterback? I don't really see that happening. Tua's going to just crush that. Alabama's going to come out with a whole new fire after getting smoked in the championship game. They're going to be scary. John Cena is God. Good to know. What's my ethnicity? I am Caucasian. Guys, have you joined my Playline contest for tomorrow? If you have, right below that you have, it's $5 to enter. If you have not, please tell me in the comments section why you have not joined, and I will help you join, or I will explain as to why that is not a good answer. Jaden Barnes says, I joined. Awesome. So the contest tomorrow, we need to predict how many points 7 players are going to score. So, Jaden, I'm curious, how many points do you have Kyrie going for tomorrow? Dalton Houston says, I haven't joined. Well, join up. It's only $5. And if you beat me, you win $10. Dak Attack says, because I don't have $5. Well, that's all right. I appreciate you being interested in joining. When you get $5, maybe you can join next time. Tyler says, if I have a baseball game local, would you come? Yeah, if I have time, I would love to come. Mexican Warrior says, I haven't because I honestly don't know nothing about basketball. Well, if you join and you message me, I will help you make your picks and make some money. Will I do a fantasy football league this season? Yes. I'm hoping to partner with the Sleeper app, which will put on a bunch of different leagues for the real sports fan. And I got the song. Let me go. Hey, Brian. I'm good. How are you, man? If someone were to be a bust this draft, who would it be? Jonathan Kinter asks, what draft, NBA or NFL? Because the NFL draft is actually coming up sooner than NBA. Hey, Spirit of Being Clutch, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Much love. NBA draft bust. Yeah, someone asked this in the earlier stream. I don't really have anyone picked out for who's going to be like a big bust. I got to do some research. So I'm going to grab some water. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Thank you, Leroy Fogelsong. I appreciate you subbing. That means a lot to me. Someone said Cam Reddish. So that's not the worst call. He was really inefficient this year. He did not play well for Duke. That was a big reason as to why they didn't even make it to the Final Four when he came in as the top 5 prospect. He's too good of a scorer, I think. Like, I don't know what happened in his freshman year, how he just kind of lost his shooting touch. But if he can't shoot, yeah, he doesn't bring a ton more to the table. What time is it? It is 12:30 in the morning. I live in New York, so it's the East Coast. And there's 11 minutes left in this NBA game. DeRozan, fadeaway, miss. Crowd up the right wing. Spurs lead by 5 with 10.5 to play. Ooh, nice crossover. Plumlee kicks to Craig for 3. And now we got a 2-point game. Carter, thank you for subbing. I appreciate that. So, guys, in the comment section, you can tell me what you would like to see on my YouTube channel going forward. What players you would love to see me. That's not a foul. See me potentially interview. What topics I should talk about. If I should do short episodes. If I should do longer episodes. Does it count as copyright? Yeah, I can't flip the screen on the NBA, unfortunately. What do I think about the Saints and Rams situation? Like their teams going forward or the pass interference? Okay, Tyler, DM me on Instagram and we can chat. Leroy asks, hey, I just subbed, and I was wondering if you're going to make a talk show of short 30-minute episodes. So that's kind of what I had in mind. I was thinking I would kind of film hour-long segment or hour-long episodes in my head, but cut them up into 10 minutes. So 10 minutes on Rookie of the Year, 10 minutes on MVP, 10 minutes on like a playoff prediction, 10 minutes on Dirk or Wade, who had a better legacy, and just chat about all that different stuff. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to involve all of you guys going forward because I want to hear your opinions. I would love to debate with you guys. Hopefully there's an app that's launching soon where I'm going to be able to do that. But for now, I think like 10-minute little snack-sized bites where you guys can just sit down, hear a cool discussion with me and a friend, or me and someone who's really smart about basketball, and kind of get your info there. So Jonathan Kinter asks, I'm not big on MLB, but did the A's waste their pick on Murray when drafting Kyler because he's going to the NFL? Yes, unfortunately, that really backfired for them. They drafted Kyler pretty high, so that's a bummer for them. Do you have like an actual job, or do you just get paid for running sports pages? Yeah, so my actual job is social media for the Action Network. We're a sports betting media company. We're a really cool company. We have a really cool app. It's called the Action Network app. You guys should download it. It's like my favorite app to track scores. So pretty much when I'm on the go and I'm not in front of a TV, I'm always checking the app to see who's winning, checking box scores, upcoming schedules, pretty much everything. And it's all also related to sports betting. So if you guys are old enough or know enough about sports betting, that's like kind of the new wave. So you should definitely check it out. Do I think I'll do more giveaways? Yeah. I mean, that's a huge part of why you guys follow me, and I know that. We have a really cool giveaway. I can't tell you what it is quite yet or when. If you're on the stream earlier or want to go watch it, I actually did give a little insight into what it is. But yes, giveaways are always coming. You guys will always have a chance of winning them, especially, and we'll do YouTube specific giveaways coming up. So if you guys continue to stay with these live streams, if you continue to watch my videos, it's going to be a really easy opportunity because, right now I only have about 200 subscribers on YouTube, whereas on Snap, there's hundreds of thousands of views. So it's going to be a lot tougher to win on Snap than here. So definitely, yeah, Steven just said custom shoes. So, yeah. Anthony says, love your Snap account. Please don't give it up on it once you start YouTube. I will never give up on the Snap account. That's like my baby. That's where we make all the friendships. Do I have a girl? Yes, I do have a girl. She's a very nice girl. Do you think Philly could be the next big sports city? They just won their first Super Bowl. Bryce Harper was a huge addition for the Phillies. Sixers looking good. They're like borderline, they need to win a few more championships to get up there, but yes, they could be. Tutorial guy says, do you answer on your Snap account? Yes, I do answer my Snap, but here, let me pull it up, and I don't know if you guys will be able to see kind of like why it's tough to answer on Snap. So here, let me turn down the brightness. So if I answer a message, yeah, nice. If I answer a couple, hey Ryan, once I answer like a few messages, yeah, he should. Eventually, my app is just gonna, yes, very bad. Of course, it's not happening while I'm on the live stream. Hey, long way 1459. I'm answering your message right now on Snap. But yeah, so normally, obviously, it didn't happen when I was showing you guys, but my app crashes all the time on Snap. So I get back to a ton of people on Instagram. If you have Instagram, jsettlement23. What are my thoughts on Brooks asked, what are my thoughts on Embiid looking at Amir Johnson's phone? So he announced that Amir's daughter is super sick, and they're just checking in on her, which obviously I totally understand. He's a father. He wants to take care of his baby girl, but it's a serious infraction for the NBA. So Amir will most definitely be suspended. And Embiid is actually in potential trouble of a short suspension. They'll probably just fine him because he's a key player, but it's actually a huge deal. I would say the best way to reach me is going to be through Instagram, Snap. I just get too many messages where if you really want to keep a whole conversation with me, you're going to have to go on Insta. Gavin asked, do I think Mark Ingram will help Lamar, a.k.a. the baby goat, develop, or should the Ravens have spent that money on a wideout? Our offense is going to be run heavy, and we need to bring in a star back. So I love the Ingram pickup. Lamar's going to have to show this offseason and in preseason that he really developed his passing abilities, which he did at the end of the Chargers game in the playoff. He showed he can make throws. It's just not on a consistent basis. And the NFL, if you make a couple mistakes over the course of the game, you can lose that game. Best DB in the league. Patrick Peterson, maybe, because of his ability to return kicks. What are your top 5 Super Bowl favorites right now? So I'm going Chiefs are my number 1. Patriots are always going to be in the conversation. Rams should be back. Saints should be back. And then that 5th team is a wild card. So the Bears could make strides in the offseason if Trubisky kind of picks it up. Who am I thinking? The Chargers should be very relevant next year. I really like them. The Packers with the new coach, could they do damage? Maybe. I don't think anyone from our division. I think the Ravens and Browns will kind of beat up on each other, and one of them will make it out. But I don't really see us being a top 5 favorite. What do I think about Baker's season next year? I think he has a ton of weapons. He has good coaches. The Browns may have finally turned the tide. There's something known as the sophomore slump, though. So if defenses figure him out after they have a whole offseason to watch film, that could be bad for him. But he should make that next jump. And then by year 3, that's when you're really looking for a franchise quarterback. I think the Steelers finally are going to have a down year. So the thing with the Steelers is they kind of went from a strong defensive identity to score a lot of points. So Ben's only getting older. AB was massive for them, even though Juju's an absolute star. Le'Veon, I know he didn't play, but that's still a huge loss. I think the Steelers, plus in a tougher division this year with the Browns, I think they take a downturn. Brooke says do an NBA mock draft. Yeah, I'm interested in doing that. I would love to, talk about maybe who I see the first top 10 going here on YouTube. That could be fun. I don't know how much you guys read, so if I write something, I don't know how valuable that'll be. By the way, Denver's cut the lead if you're watching along with me to 3 points with 7 minutes to go. Spurs ball. Wow, Brim Forbes for 3. Pushes it to 6. Favorite NASCAR driver? I'm not a huge NASCAR guy. I don't really have a favorite. I know Jimmy Johnson went on a crazy run, so that was pretty cool. Oh, nice pass. Yeah, so a really cool thing that you guys could do that I'm totally all for is drop your Snap names in the comments and add each other and make group chats with each other so that these are people who are all part of the Real Sports fam and people who love sports, and you can meet new friends, trash talk each other, share your different ideas and arguments. So drop your snaps in the comments, and when you guys have time, take a screenshot after the stream, go and look at the pic and add each other. I think that could be really cool. And if you guys add me to a group, I'll definitely interact in it when I can. Toxic Snipe says, if I DM you on Insta right now, do you think you will answer? Yes. If you do it right now, I will pull up my Instagram and answer you. One-point game. Bad shot. Wow. DeRozan in the fourth in the mid range is just so nice, so nasty. Jaden said, "Are you my dad?" I could be. I don't know though. Who's gonna win the Stanley Cup? I was talking about it earlier. I think there's a chance the Caps repeat. Honestly, I don't like Jokic shooting step back threes at this point in the game. They finally got down to 3. We talked about this earlier. They can't seem to get over that hump. That's not a great shot. MLB early predictions. MLB early predictions. I don't know. It's so early. It's like, so they've played about 15, 16 games. That's about 10% of the season. That would be like making a prediction at halftime of the second NFL game. It's just way too early. Do you think the Pacers have any chance against my Celtics? I do think the Pacers have a chance, but I don't see them winning out in 7 because here's the deal. The Celtics just went to Indy and beat down the Pacers. I think that's going to be kind of representative of the series. Carter asked, do I ever add people back on Snap? I do from time to time. It's normally kind of if you join a giveaway or join a contest. I will, if you enter my Real Sports contest on Playline, I will add you back. So that's something to think about.
Okay, there are multiples on the table. One is cash.
She's saying a whole lot of people want to buy this house. And she got this. It can be as simple as push button get mortgage. Rocket Mortgage by Quick and Loans, America's largest mortgage bank.
At Derek White. Have you guys gone on my story and seen that Derek White dunk? He dunked on his head. It's just so hot in my apartment. It's crazy.
Try it out and see the savings. Love it. Get your money back. See? Simple. Now Sprint's unlimited plan comes with one of the newest phones included for just $35 a month.
What's up, Brooks? Thanks for coming back. Guys, if you haven't, which I assume you have, subscribe to the channel because we're going to be doing this a lot going forward. They're going to be fun. And the YouTube fam is going to grow as big as the Snap fam. Yeah, I see Chris Davis finally broke his streak. My favorite is when people ask if something I posted on my story, if I saw it. Yes, I saw it.
Dry Canada Dry, ginger ale and lemonade. Are you ready to taste? I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the wonderful sounds of nature. Dry Canada Dry, ginger ale and lemonade. Now, if they want to beat the Warriors, if they continue to lose and get tired of all 70 anyway.
All right, so if you guys are watching the game, Spurs up 6 with 5 minutes to go. Who do you think wins this game? Spurs or Nuggets? I'm going with, I think the Spurs are going to pull this out. And if you know or follow, you know that the Real Sports curse is real. So probably ends up being the Nuggets. Mason says Spurs. Rudy Gay will come in clutch. Okay. I don't mind that call. It's a big possession for the Nuggets. Step back 3. Got it. Huge shot by Gary Harris. My nose is really itchy. Sorry. Most underrated in the NBA. Let's go with Lillard. I mean, he should be an MVP candidate most years, and because he's in Portland, he doesn't get a lot of the respect because he doesn't dunk on people or shoot the three as crazy as Steph does. He doesn't get the same respect. Which, in fairness, he has not won the playoffs. So you got to win the playoffs to get your respect. He hit that three to push them to win that series against Houston a few years ago, but since then they have not won a series. So you got to get the job done to get the respect you deserve. That's a shot clock violation. Whatever. Drew Holiday is super underrated. He had a great year. He's finally coming into his prime, coming into himself. That's a really good call, Jonathan. He's really, really good player. He could be a championship point guard with the right pieces around him. And you don't have to pay him a crazy amount. D-Book? No, D-Book not underrated. I think he's properly rated as a really good scorer who, I don't know. I'm not the biggest D-Book fan just because he hasn't done a lot of winning. I know his teams have – the Spurs make some tough shots. Do I think Giannis deserves MVP? I definitely do. I think I'm going to do a whole YouTube video on the Giannis Harden discussion as well as like a Trey Luka discussion. D'Lo, no, D'Lo is not underrated. He's properly rated. He made it to the All-Star game.
Rising Goddess VIP tickets will be away just a tip away by Alex Gold. Free tickets. Get VIP tickets to the best concerts with the Rising Goddess.
So guys, I'm really curious. Do you follow, and if you do, it's okay, do you follow other sports Snapchats? Which ones do you follow? Why do you follow them? I'm kind of curious, like, what other accounts are out there that you guys either like what they're doing or you just follow them because you follow them. So comment in the comment section, let me know like what the deal is with other sports snaps, or if you're watching Sports Center Snap, or do you watch Overtime Snap, or do you watch Barstool, like all these different ones. I'm really curious what the deal is. Sports Center on Snap because of Gary Strieski. I'm not very familiar with them, to be honest. Jaden, I appreciate that message. I only watch you, Overtime Sports Center, NFL and NBA. Awesome. Tyler says, I follow a lot, but you're the most active. Yeah, Tyler. So that's what I've noticed is they'll post the same highlights after me, and they won't even caption it, which I find kind of boring. Mason, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Sports Planet, Sports Highlights. I got to check those out. Can you make a Tetris tournament so I can win? I'm not big in the Tetris tournament game. Wow, the Nuggets are balling right now. The Spurs are kind of collapsing. Yeah, everyone loves Wednesday wallpaper. Hopefully you guys will start to like trivia. I just started that one today. That one could be a lot of fun. The question actually stumped most of you guys, which is pretty funny. Murray for 3. Could have tied it with 2.5 to go. Who did I curse? Oh, yeah, I did curse the Spurs because I said I think they're going to pull it out. The curse is real. The real sports curse. DeRozan, tough bucket down the stretch again. Spurs lead by 5 with 2:15 to play. Jake, thank you. I appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yaga. It's a foul. And the bonus, Nuggets shooting 2 at the line. Yeah, so I actually found someone who not only copied my post, they actually took a screenshot and copied the same exact caption with my own personal opinion. I forget what page that was, but that was pretty funny. Kyle, what was the answer to my trivia question? The answer was Michael Jordan. So MJ. So for one whole NBA playoffs, MJ actually did not win the series. He lost in the first round, but he averaged 44 a game over 3 games against the Celtics. He scored 63 in a game. He played like out of his freaking mind, but it was at the point where the Bulls were super young. He was young, and the Celtics had a super team. And even though he averaged 44 for the series, he lost that series and got knocked out of the playoffs. So, DeRozan in and out. Good job, Jaden. I'm proud of you. So the results of the poll, which I'll be posting tomorrow, but you guys can kind of get a sneak peek. Let me pull them up real quick. Murray floater, no good. Jokic rebound. So the results of the poll were 31% of you guessed LeBron, 9% guessed Jerry West, 33 guessed Wilt. Wilt was kind of LeBron and Wilt were the two tricky ones because LeBron, he's super popular right now, and Wilt known for scoring a ton. But everyone knows the GOAT, MJ, of course. Nuggets Murray cuts the lead to 1. What's up, Trent? How's it going, brother? Thank you for stopping by. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're about to watch the last minute 20 of Nuggets Spurs. Spurs lead by 1 with 1:20 to play. Spurs ball, top of the key. Derek White drives right. Almost stolen. Now stolen. Retrieved by Harris. Murray has it. Malone tried actually calling timeout there. Murray up the court. Murray. Drives. Barton kicks to Murray. Murray. Pick and roll. Murray for 3. No good. Air ball. Should be Nuggets ball with 56 to play, down by 1. Who am I rooting for? I'm not really rooting for anyone. Is Fortnite a sport? Esports, video games, is a sport. Takes a lot of skill, discipline, strategy, planning, physically involved. So I would consider that a sport. But Fortnite is just a version. I would be like saying, is the MLB a sport? No, but baseball is. Trent, who is the Nuggets player that you met when you went to a camp? Jaden says, do I play 2K? I do. Bears record prediction. I would have to say 9-7. I think they take a step backwards next year. Robert says, if I find a CP3 wallpaper, yeah, I would love to find a CP wallpaper. I'll definitely post that. If I had one wish, what would it be? I would wish for more wishes, and then I would use a wish to make sure the Ravens win the Super Bowl this year. Nuggets go to Jokic. Jokic drives. Oh, he turned it over. 50 seconds to play. Spurs ball up by 1. I'm curious. Can you guys see the game? It's a little tough to see. DeRozan drive, kick, White. White drive, step back. No good. Rebounded by DeRozan with 14 to play, 20 to play. 10 seconds on the clock. DeRozan drives mid-range. He missed it. Here we go. Nuggets ball. Malone calls timeout. Here we go. Who do you guys think the ball goes to on this possession? I'm going to say, so Jokic has hit some big shots this year. So I think you put the ball in Jokic's hands. He just turned it over on a drive, though, so maybe they're cautious of that. But I think you go to Jokic, drive, and kick maybe. It's a 1-point game with 10 seconds left. Nuggets ball. Nuggets are losing. Yeah, Murray's been playing really well tonight. Let me check the box score and see. I think Murray's been shooting pretty well tonight. Oh, no, I lied. He's 8 for 23 tonight. That's a little over 33%. Barton struggling. I mean, Gary Harris is 7 for 12 from the field. Jokic just an absolute insane box score tonight. 10 points, 14 boards, 14 assists. That's crazy. You're saying Harris, Beasley. I don't know if Beasley will be in for this play, honestly. I think you go to Jokic. He drives. He either hits like his floater or he kicks it to Murray for the win. I think the Nuggets score and then the Spurs come back and win the game on a basket themselves. Let's watch the end of this one. I don't know if you guys can really see. It's a little tough to see. Let's see. That helps. They go to Murray, pick and roll with Jokic, pull up, easy shot. You gotta make that. Wow, that's the look that you want if you're Jamal Murray. I mean, the game is not over. Keep in mind, Spurs have 2 free throws. Nuggets get the ball back. At worst, down 3. Wow, wide open mid-range jumper. That's a big miss. Wow, he was just a little too strong on it. Aldridge from the free throw line, I would imagine he's going to make both of these. He nails the first, nothing but net. Denver's no timeouts. I think the Spurs probably foul here because they can't advance the ball for a play. Yeah, the Spurs are definitely going to foul. Murray's probably going to try and – yeah, you got to foul. Oh, wow, he picked his pocket. Murray turned the ball over. Wow. Derek White picks Murray's pocket in the backcourt, and the Spurs will steal game 1. The real sports curse is alive. 1 for 3 in my predictions today. 3 road teams catch the dub today. 3 lower seeds catch the dub. What a day of NBA playoffs. Tomorrow, what do we have going on tomorrow before you guys head out? 1, my Playline contest. $5 to enter. Join in. 2, Masters. Who's excited? Tigers in the running on Sunday. 2 strokes back. If you're not a golf fan, tune in, though. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you can learn more about the sport. And 3, Game of Thrones. If you don't watch Game of Thrones, I'm sorry. But Game of Thrones also being traded on Ball Street Trading, which is a great app that you guys can download and play with me. Spurs win by 5. Thank you all for joining in. Have a great night. Maybe we'll do this tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel. DM me on Instagram. DM me on Snap. Share with your friends. Much love to the Real Sports fam. Good night.